Hello, I hope you're doing well. So today we will play some more 10-minute games, 10 minutes games, and we will see how things are working. So I'm 2354. I dropped a little bit on the rating scale. I think I was 2 games away to be rated 2400 in Rapid, but we will see. All right, time pressure 19999. Brand new account. All right, let's play some d4. If you're playing against an engine, play d4. In the worst case, you make a draw. Let's just practice some Queen's Gambit, and we will see how it turns out. Slav defense, which is very typical. Um, do I want to play an exchange Slav? If this guy is cheating, okay, I shouldn't be thinking about that. Let's just play knight c3. Okay, knight f6. Now, knight f3 is a very interesting move. Um, what did I ever play in my life? The problem of knight f3 is that I really don't like queen a5, which is e6, bishop g5, and queen a5, because I don't remember the theory of the Cambridge Springs. But we will see. Yeah, now after bishop g5, there is a move. There is this move, and I think the best move then is knight d2, but I might be wrong. I might be completely wrong. I can also just play a mainline Slav, which is e3. Um, let's just play a mainline Slav. e3, bishop e2. If he takes, I will go a4, followed by knight d2. All right, let's just castles. I really don't like the Cambridge Springs. It's not like the toughest line to ever play against, but since I don't have a lot of experience in it, only, lost games type of experience, I don't want to overtry. Yeah, but I had this position with the black pieces already many, many times. Bishop b2, bishop b7. Black is going for a very solid setup, and this is a setup I teach a lot of my students. Yeah, this position is definitely fine for black. Black will try to play c5 at some point. Yeah, why? I mean, black is really on point right now. Bishop d3, rook e1, e4, and we will slowly but surely start something. All right, c5. So now it's very important that you take on d5, because if black recaptures with a pawn, then black has... Okay, and if black recaptures with a piece, doesn't matter which one, you have more pieces in the center and more pawns in the center than black. But okay, like I said, I have a lot of experience on the black side. Now on the white side, it's pretty tough for me to handle this position, to be honest. Um, First of all, I'm thinking about rook e1, but then he might eventually take on d4. If I recapture with a pawn, bishop b4, and I can feel the pressure coming. Maybe I should just go queen e2, and if he captures, I will just recapture with the knight. Then the position will be equalized, but at least I will be able to play some moves over there. I might be wrong. I'm not feeling comfortable in this position. Let me be pretty straightforward with you. I don't feel comfortable. All right, now if I capture with the bishop, he might eventually take, but in this case, I would just capture with the bishop, and even if he goes bishop a3, in the worst case, I will just trade off, and I will play the position like it is. This position is completely equal. There is nothing I can really do about it. It's not great in theory to allow... Yeah, he's playing very fast. Something is wrong here. Okay, I think I would just go bishop a6 right now. Trade off the bishops. Yeah, I would just trade off the bishops. Nothing can really happen to me right now. And if we make a draw, we will make a draw. And in the worst case, you will just learn the theory of the Slav. Yeah, simple as that. I thought about knight d1. I'm sorry, rook d1. But I just, maybe rook d1 was slightly better to fight for the initiative with the white pieces. Um, it's possible. There's nothing wrong with this move. Queen c7. Okay, now queen c7 feels definitely wrong. It feels wrong because I can, first of all, take on c5. All right, if you take on c3, I just recapture with the rook, knight c5. Nah, it's completely equal. There is nothing wrong in this position. He wants to take, and if I... Maybe I should just go bishop b2. I'm pinning on the c file. Taking there is not possible. I mean, he has the right to move the pawn, but come on, play it. February 2024. I'm very sorry if I'm, looking at everything at the same time. 2200, and he's playing that way, and he just lost some games in blitz. All right, queen b8. This is a typical move. Nothing wrong with that. Now I thought about capturing. Taking there is nothing. I would just recapture with the bishop. Let's just play rook d1. If he captures on f3, I can always capture back. Yeah, he's playing very fast, and he's playing... Okay, he's playing in my way, to be honest. Very fast. He's trusting the moves he's playing and going for. Hmm. I'm sorry, hot coffee. Um, hmm. He will at some point go knight there, and I'm starting thinking about pawn takes d4, which feels strange to be honest, but it feels like it's also decent. My goal is to plant a knight on e5, and maybe if I get some sort of a Kramnik's advantage, it will be pretty nice. Pawn takes d4 feels decent, might be wrong, but I don't see a way for him to really prevent an attack from happening. Takes, alright, takes, let's say. Rook d8, I always have knight e5. Takes, knight c5. Feels like the knight will be stronger than my bishop. Maybe I should just trade everything off and accept that we're making a draw. That we're doing a draw. Yeah. Yeah, completely equal. Feels like I couldn't do anything. Yeah, the setup with the black pieces is very, very, very simple to play. You know, there's nothing... I mean, I can't say anything else. Maybe I should start thinking about capturing there. He captures back, then rook d4. But then he takes on a6. And what if I capture everything? Then go rook d4. He goes back. I mean, there is nothing wrong. Let's just capture with the knights. Okay, if this is a draw, this is very important, by the way. I learned that with my experience. If the position is equalized and you feel like you just messed up and you will end up drawing the game, you shouldn't be thinking to overplay. You know, you shouldn't be putting extra moves into it. Just keep playing the same way you played until now. Sometimes, if you're making a draw, it doesn't mean that you're a bad chess player. It just means that your opponent defended very well. And in those cases, over trying is really the only way of losing a game. This knight b5, queen a6, for example. You know, this guy is showing quite some move. b4 now is a typical inaccuracy. I would just allow some knight there. I'm not forced to allow anything jumping anywhere. And if I go that way, queen a6, maybe a4, but knight b3, captures, queen b2. You notice that suddenly the game is already strange. I would just go knight b5 anyway, because this is an online game, and when I play an online game, I'm training, you know, I'm not playing seriously. So I'm allowing myself to play some sort of crazy chess a little bit. Mm. But in your case, if you're using online games seriously, if you're playing those online games to really get rating points, um, solve some ego problems, then you should be playing it more professionally. Queen a6, exactly what I thought about, and now a4. And if he captures, I thought about capturing everything and going queen d3. I'm attacking the knight, and if the knight moves back, I have queen d8. Let's just try this trap. If it works, then it works. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. What else can I say? He will have to recapture with the queen, I think, and then allow me to go knight a7. Maybe it's wrong, and you definitely shouldn't be doing that. Don't do that, guys. It's not good. You won't improve your chess. You won't do anything. It's just dumb. You know, this is completely, completely, completely wrong. In this case, it feels like it's working. Now, I don't know how much working it is, but if I'm missing something right now, I might be lost. This is how simple chess is. You know, if I'm messing around a little bit too much, I'm more likely to blunder something extremely simple, something unblunderable. Um, for example, in this position, it feels like after knight c5 I'm winning the game, which is true, but I could have been a little bit unlucky. And in chess, even though this is a game where where there is no luck, technically speaking, because everything can be calculated, everything can be understood, and whatever and whatever. But if you are unlucky, trust me, it doesn't matter how good you are at playing chess. If you're unlucky, you will be unlucky, and you will realize that you're unlucky the hard way. And you don't want to realize that the hard way. Now, of course, I'm winning a piece because, there was just one trap in this whole position. I trusted myself when it came to just defend in this very absurd move continuation that I just tried, but This is nothing good. All right, what is that? What if I go knight d6? Rook there. Ooh. Now this is already interesting. If knight b7 takes, feels like I'm winning. Maybe I am. Who knows? Yeah, let's just go 96. I don't have to move my knight. This is the key of this position. Maybe I can just play a move like g3 now. After rook d8. After rook d8, everything here is fine. Maybe knight c4 is fine. Takes, queen b4, queen c2. I can sense the danger a little bit. There is nothing, of course, and I'm completely winning. Um, but who knows? Rook c3. All right. Uh, did I mess up already? Queen a4, I wanted to go knight e4, which is threatening the rook, also threatening rook d8. And if he goes back there, then I'm just, then I just lost a pawn. That is how quickly it goes. Once again, chess isn't a game for smart people. Chess is a game where you have to be able to repeat the same thing, staying concrete and very, very, very accurate for 20 moves in a row. You know, it feels like I almost messed up. I can maybe go knight c4. He can't capture because it's mate. And after knight c4, I'm attacking the pawn. And I'm threatening mate. So maybe it's the right move. Once again, I'm messing around. I shouldn't be. I shouldn't be messing around. I shouldn't be doing anything that I just did right now. Knight c4, a4, those are very silly traps. And this is pretty funny. I shouldn't be teaching some sort of middle game strategies and thinking processes and whatever. It's a YouTube video, and those type of things are extremely valuable. But people won't see this as valuable or whatever. But anyway, I just put around some traps. Now my opponent has blundered, and he first blundered a piece, and this is understandable. The reason why people blunder pieces the way my opponent just did, GG, the way my opponent blundered is that he felt that the position was equalized, which is maybe true. Maybe I had some sort of mini engine act. Yeah, this is a perfect game. I played a perfect game. I can get banned for this game. This is a very nice one. Everything here is very accurate. I played bishop e2 because I had a friend of mine who is rated 21 something. We met in Switzerland in a chess tournament, the Zurich Master. Um, and I remember that I played this position with the black pieces, and my opponent, Maximilian Markuszewski, if you're looking at this video, he played against me bishop e2. And then, we didn't know each other. And what's funny is I invited this guy, he's Polish, he's French Polish, like me. And I remember, he didn't know where to go for the New Year's Eve. Hopefully it's not a problem if, hopefully I have the right to explain the story. If you're watching this video and you don't accept it, I understand. But anyway, let me just explain. And basically, you know, I don't know why, but he didn't know where to go for the new year. I think he didn't have enough money at this point for the train or whatever. He had to play another chess tournament in France, but this is another story. And basically, in the end, um, I invited him to be, with me and with my family for New Year. Why did I do that? Because he's Polish and I'm Polish, so I decided let's just invite a guy that I don't know, but he's Polish, so I can trust him. Yeah, and yeah, this is actually pretty funny. Then we ended up playing a chess tournament together in Nancy, Vendœuvre, a very strong open in France. Um, yeah, and I met some other players, some other French players, and some Danish and English player that you know, some friends of him. And why am I talking about that? Because he played this line against me and he ended up blundering in some crazy ways. If you want to see how he blundered, I think I posted already on this YouTube channel my game analysis on why you should never resign in chess. But anyway, basically, I had this exact position against him with the black pieces. And when I invited him here, I realized that at some point when I took this pawn against him, he didn't take back with the bishop. But the whole point of putting the bishop on e2 and not on d3 is that now he can play a4, then knight e2 and knight takes e4. The engine doesn't like that, but who cares? This is decent. Um, maybe I think that what I just talked about, in the opening is way more valuable than anything I could just talk about right now. But anyway, I played very properly. I improved my bishop. Um, Everything that I just talked about was very accurate, so there is nothing you can really change about that. Bishop a6 is fine. This is fine. Bishop b4 was better. You can play bishop b4 in your future games. All right, now you have some sort of opening novelty. Rook d8, rook d1. Everything here was fine. I thought about capturing there very briefly. And what does the engine think about that? Bishop d4. Yeah, this is the exact same position. Nothing to talk about. Yeah, anyway. And I captured everything. And here in the end, what I thought is the following. Takes, takes, takes. This is wrong because of queen d3, which I played. And if queen there, I thought that in the worst case, I can just capture. Let me see what the engine says. Just capture on a7. He can go queen a6, he has to go back, and then, for example, queen b5 or knight b5 or whatever. The engine says I'm right, so I calculated very accurately. And notice that what I did isn't crazy. What I did isn't crazy because I could prove that the moves that I played were very accurate. So what I did wasn't crazy. It's just that you have to make this jump. You have to switch mentally. You have to be ready to calculate those type of things in equalized positions. Of course, I could have been very unlucky and and not win the game. But anyway, here everything was very accurate. Queen b1 with the idea that if he goes there, first of all, I thought that I had 94, but here I saw that he has rook c8, and it's not simple. Maybe I'm still better because I'm still better, but I didn't like the fact that I would need some more technique to win there. So I decided in the last second, but you saw that knight c4, I'm attacking there and I'm threatening mate, and of course he captured, which is a blundering checkmate. All right, if you still have any more questions, just let me know in the comment section. If you want me to play any other openings, write it down once again in the comment section. See you in the future. Take care.